What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. It goes a long way for me on this video. It goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. MLB just kind of getting going. We're recording here just as a couple of the games have started off. We have Kopech and Joe Ryan dueling. One of those is surprising. One of them is not. I'll let you guess which one, but lots of stuff going on in the early session of games. A lot of exposure to the evening window, though, of games as well. And I was on a lot of unders, so I guess probably an okay thing to see not a lot of runs on the board here of yet, but we'll see if that maintains throughout the night. You can always sign up for that premium Discord. Jump down there. You get my betting card every single day, Monday through Friday. Actually, Sunday through Friday. Yeah, Saturday, my one day of rest because I like being married. So check that out. DraftKings Sportsbook. I also like you guys checking that out because you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets. And I know we were talking about FanDuel. Now DraftKings, again, it's incredible stuff to be able to have the same offer from both of them. They're both available in the video description box below, but they're the two biggest sports books in North America. I recommend getting exposure to them, no doubt about it. Again, bet $5. That bet doesn't even need to win. You get $150 in bonus bets. Pretty fantastic deal. Alrighty, y'all, another 15-game slate. Every team in baseball for part two. Yeah, another day in a row where that's the case. So Wednesday's games, let's get to the picks. Our day begins in Arlington with, well, some question marks, I would suppose, because, well, we just got the line for it, and there's, strangely, a couple of different pitchers that are listed depending on which book you are identifying. We've got Andrew Heaney going for the Texas Rangers for sure, but then Brandon Pfaadt. Now, again, I don't want to mispronounce it, but he is one of the more active young arms that we have in AAA. Definitely going to be a piece you want to pay attention to going forward, but this young cat has definitely got some stuff. He has just officially been announced. I just had to double check that. Officially announced here as the pitcher, but despite what we've seen from him in AAA, despite some really, really solid numbers, I think you still want to look at the more predictable stuff that you have on the Texas Rangers side with Andrew Heaney. A 32.3% hard hit percentage, a 24.8% K rate. Things are starting to come up a little bit better for him here after a very struggling, iffy little start to the season. I am excited about Brandon Pfaadt, but at the same time, I think you want to be going with a little bit more experience, and I get it. The Texas Rangers have just been mauling right-handed pitching, and, well, that's kind of what we're looking at here again. Another right-handed pitcher, a 120 WRC plus, 187 ISO here on the Texas Rangers side of things. However, I don't know if I want to go out of my way to pick on him. I'm very excited to watch this game. I'm just not very excited to bet this game. So Texas money line, that is my lean here up against the young potential ace here on the Arizona side. But going to be a wait and see approach on me for me when it comes to him. We head to Houston next, and I kind of have a combination play here for you. Don't even need to do the single game parlay thing. You should be able to have these two packaged together. That's fun. Framber Valdez on the mound going up against Logan Webb, and both of these guys, well, especially Logan Webb, has found strikeouts this season. Now, the ERA still starting to creep up on him from time to time because the ground ball rate isn't what it once was, but now it's starting to return after 14, 11, and 10 of those in the last three outings against Miami, New York Mets, and St. Louis here consecutively. The strikeouts, I'm just kind of impressed by what he's put together. So despite the 4.10 ERA, I think we have some really good stuff coming from Logan Webb in the future, just not against Framber Valdez and this entire Houston lineup, where specifically two lefties. Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, talk about him almost every single day. That's good stuff. And despite the hard velocity that Framber Valdez gives up, he's got one of the most silly ground ball rates you're ever going to run into. It's almost always north of that 60% number. And wow, is that absurd. 64.3% is actually his worst mark in his last three big league seasons. So that's, it's still elite, so I really don't care. So when hard contact comes on the ground, well, he's got a really good infield. He'll be okay. Would like it to see it come down from 47.7% it's bet at recently, but with a 2.54 ERA, he's definitely showing what that sinker ball, what it's made to do, and that is to limit damage. And as such, well, I kind of want to be backing both pitchers, but I definitely want to be backing the Houston offense over Logan Webb, and that's where I kind of have a 2-for-1 special, because if I'm right, I want to be right twice when it comes to this game, and that's where the Houston money line packaged with the under of 8 becomes a like for me. Yes, our first play of the day is actually 2 plays for the day. Houston money line combined with the under of 8 in Houston. Kind of a tough spot to handicap here, if you ask me. We have the Philadelphia Phillies going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Gavin Stone getting the ball here. He hasn't looked that good, and he's in AAA Oklahoma City. So even PCL, they are as far east as it gets. He's not on the mountaintops in Reno or Vegas or wherever else you might see some home run balls flying. So that's not exactly super inspiring with a 4.74 ERA over 24 2/3 innings. So be on the lookout. Gavin Stone could be running into some issues. And on the other side of this one, Aaron Nola going for the Philadelphia Phillies. Hasn't been typical Aaron Nola so far this season with a 4.46 ERA. Some troubling metrics when it comes to the fly ball department. Gave up 10 of those last time, even though against Houston, found a way to limit the damage. 8 innings pitched, looked fantastic. Definitely his best outing. And for a couple of these guys starting to ramp up, whether it's him, Alek Manoah, we'll talk about in a little bit, there are some opportunities for improvement when you know the elite stuff can be there. So Gavin Stone, assuming that he's going to be the guy going for the Los Angeles Dodgers, the only play I have here is a lean on a play I hope shows up. I hope he has a terrible day on Tuesday night going up against Julio Urias, a lefty, but Bryce Harper, a 527 expected slugging last season, a 380 xWOBA, 47.9% hard hit percentage, and 11.8 degree launch angle. All of these things tell you he's going to be really good when he gets back here. And I'm very surprised he's back as early as he is after having a lot of the operations, the Tommy John surgery there, because he lost the ability to throw. And, well, I bet he's going to be DHing quite a bit going forward. Going to have some off days as well. But assuming he plays back-to-back days here, I have a feeling his home run prop might be pretty inflated for what it should be, especially considering, well, you get a bad righty in there anytime. Him and Kyle Schwarber vault to the top of my home run board. So it's only expected to be 62 degrees in Los Angeles at first pitch tomorrow, which by May 3rd standards, not exactly an inferno, but Bryce Harper to home run. Hard not to have that on the board here for an afternoon game. Looks like the wind might be blowing out slightly to right. Going to be paying close attention to it. But per usual, if you want to know if this ends up making my card, which, I mean, I'm highlighting it. I really want it to be there if it's better than plus 280. Let me know on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. Hit me up. Any questions you might have for any bets on the card that are leans. St. Diego, Wales, you know what. Anyway, Cincinnati, San Diego. Going to be fun stuff. Another game. 64 degrees out there in San Diego. Typically unseasonably cool, I would say, but, you know, especially because it's a 110 first pitch for them. Anyway, you got 2 pretty interesting pitchers. Luis Cessa is just terrible for the Cincinnati Reds. Let's just call a spade a spade. And Seth Lugo on the other side of this one. Don't think I'm going to be wanting to go to the Cincinnati side in any kind of a prominent way, but I'm not exactly sold on Seth Lugo here as of yet either. Now, Cincinnati, they are terrible against right-handed pitching this season. And, you know, that's why we went with we went against the Blake Snell side and took the over. That came to fruition. Lock of over an 8.5 from Monday's slate. That was lovely. But an 83 WRC plus do the Cincinnati Reds have, a 25.1% K rate. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to go out of your way to pick on Seth Lugo, but he does have a 453 expected slugging, just a 22% K rate. And the four-seamer, sinker, slider, change, curve, everything just kind of seems a little iffy. Primarily a curveball pitcher, not a ton of velocity. The ground ball rate has been up. That's good to see from the 33-year-old, but otherwise, it's just kind of an uninspiring pitch mix with a 4.78 expected ERA. He's outperformed that with a 3.58 ERA. So negative regression, definitely going to be in store for him. Against Cincinnati, I think we can still take some shots there, but this comes down to how bad Cessa is, where I just definitely want to be on the over of this game. Luis Cessa, nearly a 10 ERA for the season. He's got nothing in the tank, and I feel bad for him with a 580 expected slugging, just an 8.1% K rate. And now this San Diego Padres team with Trent Grisham from the left side, Jake Cronenworth from the left side, Matt Carpenter from the left side, Rougned Odor could be in there. Matt Carpenter definitely from the left side. I mean, it is tough sledding. Juan Soto, we should probably throw him in his 59.2% hard hit percentage up there. And Fernando Tatis, unseasonably bad, Again, just like unseasonably cool there. 43.2% hard hit percentage through 37 batted ball events this season. That's not typical Fernando Tatis stuff. I expect him to start picking it up too. He went through spring training, then had to sit out for a month. Now you're starting to see some cobwebs there. He'll work them off. What a great spot against Luis Cessa. So I like the over of 9 here, but I'm not going to put it on the card here as of yet. Still going to be a lean because, well, I don't know. It just seems like this Padres lineup still has some things to figure out. Cincinnati, not very good. Seth Lugo, not very good either. Something might give there. Probably just going to be leaning it because I don't want to have 14 plays on the card. Well, as long as, they hit, it doesn't matter. But yeah, over 9, just going to be a lean until further notice. Another game we could probably move through pretty quickly now. Braxton Garrett here going for the Miami Marlins as they host Atlanta, and Kyle Wright. And I have been right about Wright. He's not very good. And I don't quite understand all of the hype around him. I get the last year, by far his best season in the bigs, a 3.89 expected ERA, 3.19 ERA, but look at any other season he had leading up to it. 2018 through 2021, he never had better than a 5.58 expected ERA. He always had crazy high walk rates. We're talking north of 14%. And for some reason, he found a way to fix that with just 7.2% walk rate in 2022. Well, that's back up to an 11.4% walk rate. The expected ERA is back up to 5.39. The curveball isn't curving. The sinker is not sinking. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries. Telling you, Kyle Wright, it's not very good. But do we really want to go out of our way to be backing this Miami team? The only reason I can think of that I'd want to do it is I like Braxton Garrett's stuff. Definitely had strikeout stuff, but even that's been down this season at 20.4%. But I like seeing some of the changes to his pitch mix is the slider sinker combination, as opposed to going four seamers primarily, the four seamer was his second primary pitch there, sitting just behind his slider. It's a distant third. In fact, he's really only throwing that to right-handed batters, not throwing it to lefties at all. There's not going to be a lot of lefties who face the lefty throughout this entire season, but still, the fastball, it's always sitting right around 90, 91. I'm glad he's starting to limit it. Coming out of, 2016, he was a top 10 pick of the Miami Marlins. He's been with this team the entire time. It's always been his off-speed stuff that's been primary for him, whether it was a changeup back in the day to the curveball, and now slider sinker. Last 2 years, primary pitch. So I like some of the off-speed stuff that we're seeing from him. I think it's good enough to maybe take a shot on Miami, but I can't believe this line, to be honest. Feels like they're watching. Like they know that we want to be backing Miami here because, well, maybe if you go to the run line plus 1.5, sitting minus 137, best available line over at FanDuel Sportsbook, but I don't think I want to go out of my way to back them at just a plus 126 favorite. That's the best available line at FanDuel, plus 115 at every other book. I think we can do better. So if that number moves tomorrow, I get a lot more interested to maybe back him for half a unit. But otherwise, this Atlanta lineup, even in a tough to hit stadium like Miami, not going out of my way. Finally, let's talk locks. Let's talk Detroit hosting the New York Mets. Joey Wentz on the mound, the really, really bad southpaw there for the Detroit Tigers. 20.8% K rate, almost a 10% walk rate. Nothing looks good. Now you're going to be facing a Mets team that definitely has some boppers from the right side, specifically Pete Alonso. That's a lot of power to be dealing with. That's a spicy meatball. Oh no, I said it like that. That was kind of annoying. But Max Scherzer going to be on the mound here for the New York Mets. Nice for them to have him back. And I don't know. Now they're going to have frickin' Justin Verlander starting in Detroit. That's kind of exciting for him. A little bit of a homecoming from days of yore, if you will. But it doesn't feel good if you're the Detroit Tigers, considering their numbers against righties not all that impressive, like you would expect. Well, 73 WRC plus is even worse than you might have expected. Second worst numbers in baseball, 114 ISO. They are pitiful. So yeah, we're just going to be looking at one good pitcher and one elite pitcher, actually, and one really, really bad pitcher. And yet on the run line, I'm able to get a number like this. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me. I'm getting minus 122. I would pay up to minus 140 for this kind of a play with Max Scherzer on the mound. I get it. There might be some limitations. You might not see him get the full pitch mix here, but I'm willing to embrace that variance at nearly even money with the way better lineup, the way better starter, and pretty much everything on the Detroit side is bad, and we know it. So I am very, very excited for it. Again, Max Scherzer, it was a suspension. He wasn't hurt. He was reinstated. It was the sticky stuff. The ump was being a little dramatic. It's a really weird deal. Max Scherzer is going to go completely bonkers. Let's be dead serious. Might ladder those Ks as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to lather myself on the skin. Put the lotion on the skin. -1.5 New York Mets. My favorite play from the day for Wednesday. And while we're at it, DraftKings Sportsbook, super easy, super awesome. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But I'm telling you, why not get $150 in bonus bets signing up at a book that you might not have exposure to? And let's say you have DraftKings. There's also FanDuel sitting in the video description box below. So if you don't have both, you've got a great offer to take advantage of. But DraftKings Sportsbook, great to have them back here, a part of the program. Bet $5, get $150 right now. Signing up at the link below. It takes you all of about 2 minutes. And then, I don't have to bug you about this anymore. If you just sign up for it, then I never have to talk about these again. And we could just go through 15 picks. That'd be a fun show, wouldn't it? Yeah? I don't know. People are saying I'm long-winded anyway. I do not care. This is my show. I do what I want. You know what? I want to go back to the picks. Let's go back to the picks. Hit it up. Next up, my friends, we're heading to Washington. Here comes the general. Anybody watch Hamilton? No, just me. Okay, I have a home run play for you, so maybe that'll get you off my case. We got Marcus Stroman on the mound. It does have a questionable tag on who's going to be on the mound here from the Washington side. We are still waiting for an official word on what that's going to be, but I think I figured out. I think I cracked the code, if you will, on who will be starting in this spot. I think it's going to be Corey Abbott, if I had to guess. And here's the thing. He's getting recalled from AAA Syracuse, and he is not a good righty. A 5.25 ERA. Not a great pitch mix. He had a 6.46 ERA in his first 5 starts this season with them. I don't really know what to tell you. Again, 5.25 ERA last season. Welcome back to the bigs, sir. You've had a worse number at AAA, and yet Washington wants you there. How can we take advantage of this? Oh, yeah. How about that Cody Bellinger fellow? Yeah, he's starting to find a second life in a Cubs uniform, and I don't know. Seems like a lot of people just go to the Cubs to die, like Jason Hayward, and then he goes to the Dodgers and he starts figuring it out again. But Cody Bellinger, 7 homers, 294 average, or 295 average. Sorry, didn't want to short him by 0.001. 962 OPS. Everything looks dandy, and I don't know. Seems like he's in a good mood. Playing a lot of really good baseball, launching the ball high and far into the sky. And again, it's not a great home run environment anywhere. But this righty is really, really bad. So Cody Bellinger, hard for me to imagine that he's not going to be north of plus 350. And that, my friends, makes him my favorite prospective homer of the day. Now, if somehow, some way that number ends up short of that, sorry, I apologize. That's why these are leans, because again, you can't lean on a number you don't know yet. We bet because of the numbers. You give me Mike Trout plus 100 to hit a homer, that'd be a stupid bet every single day. You give me him plus 400 to hit a homer, that's a phenomenal bet almost every single day, unless he's facing like Scherzer. But even still, fly ball pitcher, I would bet Mike Trout every day at plus 400. So Cody Bellinger, as long as it's plus 350 or better, your home run play of the day. One of these pitchers I expected to be good. One of them I did not. The good one, Shane McClanahan, going the lefty on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. This team that just keeps chugga, choo, choo. Get on the train, baby, and ride it up. Come on the train and ride it up. That's a good song, too. But anyway, Mitch Keller, where did this come from, dude? Who are you? Do I even know you anymore? Look at his numbers last year. Let's break this down. A 4.23 expected ERA. He had a better season. By far his best season since his rookie season in 2019 as a 23-year-old, where he still got completely lit up there with a 7.13 ERA, but a 3.51 expected ERA. That's what matters because that's predictive for the future. But a 4.23 has turned into a 3.91, and now the K rate is outrageous, 26.8%. That is by far his best number over the course of the last 4 big league seasons. Like, we're talking, hasn't been over 20% his entire big league career since his rookie year, which was just outrageous. But a 3.53 ERA this season, coupled with that strike weight, coupled with my favorite thing, a 24% hard hit percentage? That's right. It is wild to see just a 24% hard hit percentage, especially considering the barrel rate is at 11.5%, which would be the highest rate of his entire career. So he's given up barrels, but to guys who just don't matter, apparently. And that's why you're seeing such a good expected ERA south of 4. You're seeing the hard hit come down. That cutter, it's definitely being effective against both sides of the plate. He's throwing that routinely to lefties. I mean, it is eating up a lot of lefties right now, down to a 200 batting average against it, 265 expected batting average for what that's worth. There could be some negative regression there, but that cutter is getting thrown by far the most out of any of his pitches. A brand new pitch to his arsenal for 2023, and my God, has it changed the complexion of his career. Now, Shane McClanahan's just good. You want me to tell you how good? 31% K rate, 263 X12, but yeah, he's really good. But this line is at 7 in Tampa Bay. I get that they've been the best offense in baseball, and yet I want to be shorting it. I'm looking at the under of 7 of all things. How good Mitch Keller has been. And yes, he's been really good throwing that cutter to lefties, which makes me wonder, Josh Lowe, Brandon Lau, spelled the same. How did Josh Lowe not end up in the lineup today? That was a really weird thing. Sorry, hopefully Brandon Lau goes to the yard for us, but I'm just saying, pretty weird to see Mitch Keller pitching as well as what he is. Has me thinking about the under of 7, has it projected out decently for me at 6.4 runs for an implied number, but I think there's better spots to go for today's slate. I really want to pull the trigger on this spot too. We got Shane Bieber, the ace for the Cleveland Guardians, going up against, the guy who was supposed to be an ace for the New York Yankees. Not so far, Clark Schmidt. There's a lot of hype about him. I don't see it. 532 expected slugging, 53.8% hard hit percentage. Doesn't have any velocity whatsoever, gets by on a sinker cutter combination, not getting the swings and misses that you would be hoping if you're a Yankee fan. Now, 26.9% is still a really good K rate, but considering he's getting more, he's getting hit up to the tune of a 6.33 expected ERA, you need that K rate around 30% for him to be serviceable. So it's a very difficult proposition for me to be looking at Mr. Clark Schmidt as anything we want to be backing. And Shane Bieber in Yankee Stadium, I really want to make this happen. I wish I could be making this happen, but unfortunately, I just think this number is a little bit too wide on the run line. Maybe we could talk ourselves into it, and that's where I'm going to be leaning as a result. But Shane Bieber, he's going to continue to just mow dudes down. It's going to get better. He's got just a 17.1% K rate this season. I expect major positive regression in that regard. I need the velocity to start coming back up. Oh, that's for sure. Sitting at 91 miles per hour on the fastball, down almost a half mile per hour, but he's enough. He is a caliber of pitcher that you don't want to be screwing with the Yankee side of it. Still think the number's not good enough there. Now with no Aaron Judge, no Giancarlo Stanton, pretty hard for me to look at this Yankees lineup as anything good right now. So -1.5. I wish it was a little bit wider or a little bit better number, but such is life. That's where I'm going to lean. Got 6 games to go. We're 60% of the way done. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we talk my Minnesota Twins here going up against the lowly White Sox. And I kind of like an interesting pitching matchup in this one. Dylan Cease on the mound going up against Louis Varland. And I'm going to take you back to spring training, which is kind of a cool story. Now, Louis Varland, his brother, he's in the Milwaukee Brewers organization, and I went with my really good friend. We were sitting at the game, and Louis Varland's parents sat down next to us, and I started talking with them a little bit, and then this kid's wife, the one who pitches for Milwaukee, strikes out the side in the 8th inning. Foul ball gets tipped over. My buddy catches it barehanded, gives it to her. She starts sobbing, whatever else. Had a really great bonding experience in Arizona with the Varland family. Can't say enough good things about him. Now, I'm front-loading that because, again, I don't think Louis Varland's very good. A 4.56 ERA, a 4.85 expected ERA. Sorry, shame on me, but shame on you for whatever. I don't know. He's going to start getting hit up eventually here. It's going to be problematic and is what it is. But is he going to get hit up, this righty? This soft-tossing righty, guy who doesn't really hit above 94 on the gun? Is he going to get lit up by a White Sox team that has nothing at the moment? They have an 85 WRC plus, a 22.8% K rate against right-handed pitching. So as much as I don't believe in Varland, I believe in targeting this White Sox lineup. Now, Dylan Cease, he is the one lone exception to anything you have going, it seems like, on the Chicago White Sox side, because everything else sucks except for him. He's got a 26.2% K rate. The hard hit up north of 50%. That's not exciting to see. Not great to see a 10.6% walk rate either. But friends, still Dylan Cease here. We're only, a month into the season? He's going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball as long as he stays healthy. And now the White Sox, maybe they look at moving him, trying to just rebuild this team from the ground up because, going to be a long year for them otherwise. Just saying, pretty disappointing stuff. So I actually like the under of 8 in this one. I bet it. Think we go with it. Pretty easy to see a world where neither of these teams really go nuts. Cease against a good Minnesota lineup or a decent Minnesota lineup. I think we're overperforming a little bit. And then Varland, as much as I expect negative regression, not here. Decent enough first outing of the season, 6 innings pitched, 83 pitches, 8 Ks, but don't expect that going forward. Just expect it in this game alone. Shipping up to Boston, going to Fenway. Wish I was going to Fenway tomorrow. That'd be a fun afternoon, especially to watch these two teams tee off on each other. And tee off, I believe they will. Alek Manoah, the major regression of Alek Manoah continues, going up against Nick Pivetta, who just always gives up power. Let's start with Alek Manoah, because why is he so bad so far this season? Well, he's never been a good strikeout pitcher. He's been elite last season, 22.9% K rate. Well, that was only good because he had a 31.5% hard hit percentage. Well, now it's 41.5%. And now he's facing Yoshida, Devers, Verdugo, Duran. Great band. Just saying, there's lots of opportunities for lefties to go completely nuts against one. Alek Manoah here, considering the amount of hard hit, the sinker not sinking. Nothing really looks all that enticing against lefties right now. Only a 13% whiff rate on that primary pitch. Ooh, baby. Devers, home run might be on the card here. In addition to a couple of Toronto home runs, because my God, could they be coming. Nick Pivetta, how have you not improved this portion of your ball game your entire career? He's had the strikeout stuff, but a 5.11 ERA that's just buoyed by the fact that he gives up the long ball. 5 homers through 5 starts this season. It's always going to be a problem. Lefties, righties, you get a homer, and you get a homer. Everybody gets a homer. See where I'm getting at with this one? Again, only 60 degrees pretty much everywhere across the entire country tomorrow. And yet I want to cheer on some offense in Boston there. Great ballpark, lots of opportunities against these two really bad pitchers. So give me the over of 9. Yeah, fire this to the moon. I would be shocked if this was not 9.5. So bet it now as soon as you hear this, because it's 9 everywhere. It ain't going to be 9 for long. Fire it up to the moon. Actually, it is 9.5 on FanDuel now. I wanted to amend that. But anyway, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, Bet365, all sitting at 9. And that, my friends, is not high enough. Lock button. Let's cheer on more offense, shall we? Looking at Baltimore, heading to Kansas City for another round of goodness with 2 really bad righties that I do not like, Sam. I do not like them with green eggs and ham or in orange and blue uniforms. Kyle Gibson on the mound going up against Zach Greinke, and these guys, it's the battle of who could care less when it comes to strikeouts. That's a Ben Folds 5s. Ben Folds 5. It's good stuff. Didn't see that analogy coming to my brain. But 19.1% K rate for Gibson, 16.3% for Zach Greinke. He continues to be an elderly wand. I don't know. He's got to have like the Deathly Hallows portion where you just like stay alive forever. Because how is he still in the league? I don't get it. How's he finding success either? Oh yeah, he's not. 6.10 ERA, 0-4 record. 1.45 whip. Get him out of there. What are we doing here with these two pitchers still pitching? Kyle Gibson at least can limit some hard contact from time to time, but again, just not another pitcher I want to be backing. So hitting eject on that one, 4.85 expected ERA. Yet another sinker sweeper changeup combination that just isn't working for him. Friends, over 8.5. We like it this time around. The only reason that I'm not jamming, well, we'd be jamming other spots. So we be jam on. Over 8.5. I like it. And one of those spots we're going to jam is coming up next, and we're going to get smarter than the average bear because I'm sick of this Angels bullpen. You hear me? Sick of it. And at least it's on the road, and at least it's in St. Louis. So I think we're going to get a little sharp with the first 5 play here. Yes, first 5 play. It is expected to be one Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Los Angeles Angels, going up against Miles Mikolas. And Miles Mikolas, confirmed not good at baseball, 19.3% K rate, 539 expected slugging. Bet the Cardinals would want that money back if you asked them right now. Think they would. Angels are just going to light up. I mean, Miles Mikolas, almost a 6 ERA, 1.71 whip. I don't like anything that he's doing either. I know he had a really good outing against San Francisco, but have you seen San Francisco's numbers against righties? No? Well, they strike out a lot against them is what I'm getting at. 26.4% K rate, highest in baseball. And then it's not like the Angels are just beating up on right-handed pitching so far this season. Much better against lefties, of course, but a 102 WRC plus, 168 ISO. These are good enough things for me, especially with Shohei Ohtani and the first 5 bet. Now, there's 2 ways to do this, okay? You could lay it for the half run and you could just take it there, or you can do what I'm doing. I'm just going to take it straight up. Money line, Angels, first 5. Might have a full play on this game as well, but this Angels bullpen is really starting to piss me off, and therefore, well, we're just going to avoid it. Why not back Shohei Ohtani with the sub-2 ERA, 46 Ks, completely going nuts, and last game was a little strange, 2 homers, 5 earned runs against Oakland, but it was a hot day in Anaheim, and well, he was due to get hit up eventually at some point. Weird that it was Oakland. But .82 whip, Shohei Ohtani facing a lot of righties that should be in that lineup. Outside of Gorman, who, can obviously send it to the moon and back, who does have a 27.9% K rate, so there's that. We've got the best pitcher in baseball when healthy, Shohei Ohtani. Best hitter in baseball when healthy, Shohei Ohtani. He had the day off on Tuesday to just relax, kick back. Get ready to hit this lock for us, friends. Los Angeles Angels, first 5 money line. Lock it up on Wednesday. Got more plays on this card than normal. I know there were a lot of leans in the middle of it, but we're going out with a bang here. Last play, it's officially out of 2 games to go, though. That is Milwaukee, Colorado. We're heading into Coors with a pair of southpaws. Kyle Freeland on the mound for the Rockies, for the home team, going up against Eric Lauer. And, well, Eric Lauer has to get by the likes of Jurickson Profar, Chris Bryant, CJ Cron. I'm telling you, you get by them though. And what is this Colorado lineup? It's not that I'm in love with this Milwaukee lineup, but I do expect Eric Lauer to find a little bit more success against Colorado than the other way around. Now, there aren't a ton of massive righties in the Milwaukee lineup. In fact, William Contreras, Tyrone Taylor, who's actually good against lefties, Willy Adames, Brian Anderson, they're at least decent. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to go out and just set the world on fire, but Kyle Freeland, well, 15.6% K rate. If he's not going to be missing bats with this team, I think we just got to be backing Milwaukee on the run line. -1.5. Again, the main appeal of getting to this is the number that's attached to it. +140, +145, best available number at Bet365 if you have exposure to that. Only available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. Yeah, check it out in one of those. But +140 over at DK is where I fired this one up for half unit. I think that's pretty good value going to Milwaukee in Coors, a spot where lots of runs are expected. However, I don't really have a play on 11.5 with the juice steamed towards the over at -115 there. Think the best play, Milwaukee, -1.5. And we're going to get ourselves on out of here with Logan Gilbert, been really good on the mound going up against JP Sears, who's been improved actually. He's at least in play. Sears, the store is closed. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Logan Gilbert's really good, though. A 262 XWO, but 30% K rate, sub 5% walk rate. Going to be awesome this season. Pitching in a ballpark, kind of akin to what he's got in Seattle, a cavern. And JP Sears, the lefty, so far this season. Julio Rodriguez did get scratched on Tuesday, so perhaps we're not going to see him in the lineup again. That would be good if you're a lefty, and JP Sears here in this one. But a 5.32 expected ERA, not exactly good, but at least a 24.8% K rate pitching in the home ballpark. Those are things that bode well. The max exit velocity on balls this season, too, is way down for him, almost 10 miles per hour difference between last year and this year. I mean, last year is bottom 1% of the league in that department. But I do think the four-seamer, primary pitch for him here, Seattle's lineup just isn't all that good. And against lefties on the season, that's especially where you want to target them. Just a 76 WRC plus, 163 ISO. However, how am I not going to be leaning the Seattle side of this one? I'm not going to bet against Gilbert unless this number moves even north of where it's at right now. A little surprised to only see plus 158 there. If that gets to plus 175, I'd jump to the Oakland side. But as of right now, if you made me pick Seattle money line minus 165, but please, friends, do not bet this unless you absolutely have to. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on Wednesday slate. Very excited for this one. Don't forget to check out NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks covering the one gamer. Game 2, going to be an awesome one. Philly, Boston, round 2. Does Embiid play? Does he not? He's doubtful. Does that mean something? I don't know. The man just won MVP. It'd be pretty sick to see him play here. Go Philly, plus 10.5, fire it up. But check out DraftKings Sportsbook on the way out. Thank you to producer Jacob here. Great to have him along. Day two. He keeps it rocking. He keeps it rolling. Good stuff. Until next time, until Thursday, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.